What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Stoic Context. Today, we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to save my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Tacos. What you got for me?
So I noticed that, and I've only been watching your channel for a few months, but a lot of your advice is towards women who are looking for a high value man. But me personally, I married one,
Mm-hmm.
but what I really need is your advice in a situation where I feel like I'm a traditional woman. And I listened to the caller, I think it was last night, the woman who was a stay-at-home mom of 2 and how she kind of regretted that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like as a young traditional woman, I'm 27, when my husband asked me to work for him when he has 3 companies, I told him no because I had just been offered a really good government job.
Mm-hmm.
And now, we've had an incident in our marriage to where he's seeking divorce. But I would like your advice for a traditional woman who is, and maybe this isn't the appropriate time or platform, but where I could maybe have a piece of advice moving forward on how to kind of reclaim my marriage and try
Oh,
and
okay.
salvage that.
Okay. What you hit on the topic I'm gonna get onto next week is called reclamation. I'm starting to reclaim women like Stephanie and a bunch of other folks. Be reclaiming a
Okay,
bunch of y'all. All right. Incident in your marriage. Um, was that on your side or on his side?
at my side.
All right. He asked you to work for the businesses that he has that fund the family, and you said
Mhm.
no.
Yes, he asked before we were married, and because I had just been offered a good job, I felt like
Okay,
it,
and so
you know,
I'm just getting the landscape. So do you have the? Did you go take the government job?
I did.
All right, are you still there?
I am.
All right, how are the businesses doing?
2 out of 3 are doing very well.
Um, would the third one have done better had you worked for it?
I'm not sure. I think there were a lot of issues when he purchased the company,
Okay,
and so,
just big picture. All right, so there was already I don't want to say a breach of trust, but there was already uh, a desire for you to make your own kind of claim. You wanted to put your own stake out in the world, more or less, in the context of a relationship.
mhm.
Um, that has a consequence. Now, whatever thing that happened, was it infidelity?
No.
All right. Um, what I'm needing to try to understand is how serious of a breach for somebody to seek divorce without. You want to type it in the chat room?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, because
1 moment.
yeah, because if you are trying to reclaim, if you're trying to, because if you're trying to basically win your spouse back, it depends on what we're trying to overcome. Let me see, Jamie. Let me get down to Jamie.
I'm typing now as well.
Okay, I'm looking for your name here. Yeah. All right. Type here. Here you go. Oh, all right. How long ago was that?
That was maybe 2 weeks ago.
And is that okay? And from that point, he said no mas.
No, and that's the hard part that I'm trying to wrap my head around is I feel like I've made efforts in our home aside from not being there, trying to be the best, wife that I could be and quote unquote traditional wife. Um, and we were working on things after that.
Uh huh.
And so we ended up losing it, what I
Okay.
mentioned, the
All right.
result of that.
All right. So if you asked him when he said he wants to file, what reason did he give you?
He was showing me a lot of efforts towards making it work, and his heart, I felt, was postured that he wanted to maintain our relationship, but he
Mhm.
went home one weekend to Laredo, and his family was really against everything. And I felt like their emotions were very heightened. And so they convinced him that that was what was best. And so I'm torn because I don't think that he genuinely wants this divorce himself, but he's pressured.
Okay. Well, this is what happens when you bring family into stuff. But was it on grounds of irreconcilable differences? Is that what he's talking about? I mean, there's a reason he has to be wanting to walk,
Right.
and it can't just be what you just typed in there.
Well, that's why I'm so like flustered and confused
All right. Well,
because
what I would tell you, one of the first things, you keep saying traditional woman, but when a husband comes to a wife and says, "Hey, work for our legacy," and you say, "No, I'm going to go work for the government," that's a problem.
we weren't married.
Okay. Okay. I thought you said okay. You weren't married at the
That,
time. Okay.
right.
I'm confused. Um, have you guys been to counseling?
We have a therapist, yes, but
Have you been
we
to?
haven't I
Okay.
haven't seen the therapist since the incident.
All right. Individual counseling is good, but also the things they'll call it's not divorce care. What is it? It's like Christian marriage counseling. Let me think of the name. I forgot what it is. Christian. Are you Christian or are you non-denominational?
Yes, and we have sought counsel in our church, but he's since left the church, I think because he's just very embarrassed and with the whole situation.
Well, it's not divorce care. Um, oh Jesus. Group marital counseling is often works wonders because when you and your spouse are in counseling, it's you, him, and the therapist, and often it just it gets to be untenable. But when you can actually hear other people's problems, you can start to really
Mhm.
compare and contrast how major your stuff is. Because I don't, you don't need to go that deep into it, but I do know one thing. I don't know if you or he wants to be single out here.
Mhm.
Uh, and oftentimes people get a divorce because families are pressuring, and a lot of experience with this one. Families are pressuring this and that, and then they regret it. Why? You know, I mean, I don't know. No, I'm trying to figure out, remember what it was. Group Christian marital counseling, pre pre-divorce counseling. Hold on. Christian pre-divorce counseling. I don't remember what it was called, but we went to this pre-divorce. Um, are you guys still living together?
Not as of last week, but after the incident, immediately we were.
Okay. Well, in your area there, look, whoever hosts divorce care in your area, there should be something before divorce care. Um, Basically, what I'm looking at is pre-divorce counseling, where they do it and it's usually done at church in the context of groups, because then as a husband and wife, you can get to go be around other couples in flux, and it's not so tense. You're not always listening to you and him, and really it's a good time to it's also a good way to compare what's going on, because it may seem like a major deal with what you guys are listening to, but then you listen to what another couple is going through. You're like, you know what? Maybe we need to redouble our efforts, because you have how many children?
None,
You
none.
have no children.
Yeah.
Um, does he
We
have any
were just
children?
married. No, we were just married.
How long ago? How long have you been married?
We were married about a month.
No, you guys have been married for 1 month.
Yeah, we were together for 7 months before, or 6 months before, and we were
Oh,
married in the
all
sixth
right.
month.
Now, okay, I'm confused because I thought there were children involved. All right,
No, 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 no.
all right. So let's back up. You've been married about a month.
Mhm. And I'll just mention it, we got pregnant right away. So that's why I said I was experiencing his hormones.
Right. But does he have any children?
No.
How old is he?
28.
And how old are you?
27.
Yeah, he's young.
And he's a high earner too, so I'm just convinced that he can go and find like whoever he wants.
Well, I mean, but that's possible, but that's not the real point. The bigger point is his family's involved in this. And you guys shouldn't be having this major problems a month into marriage. You guys need, if you're going to make a marriage work, you're going to have some sort of counseling without his family uh, involved, and to see if you guys even have enough to go the distance. Because it sounds to me though, as you guys got married under tense conditions, and you got a lot going on. A month married, I mean, hell, you may even be able to know that. I don't know. But if he doesn't want to stay, you're not going to be able to make him stay. That's really what it comes down to. And I hate to say it, but you got a month into a marriage. It's not a lot. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of confused at what you were saying. Yeah. Best you can do is if you guys can get in to talk to a counselor and to see if you guys can put together a marital plan to try to get on the same page to make it work. But, if
is there any advice that you might have towards having that conversation to convincing him that it's worth the counseling?
All you can do. Okay, why do you want to stay? If what you're telling is showing what happened, he wants to leave. That seems like a little thing to want to leave over.
Right.
And you're saying that, you guys have been together for 7 months and he wanted you to work for the businesses. You're telling me that a business failed inside of the 7 months? You got a job at the government inside. It's a lot of shit to go on. For how long y'all been together? Less than a year?
It didn't fail. It's just not as successful as his
But you
other
guys have been
two.
together less than a year.
Right.
That's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stuff. I mean, you didn't want to go work for the business. It sounds as though y'all got rushed into a marriage because of your situation. And it doesn't really sound like y'all was on stable ground to begin with. You wanted to do what you wanted to do, and you did it. So all I can do is say you'd be good to try to go find group marital counseling ahead of time and ask him to go. But he's a grown man. He can decide to go or not. And he sounds like he's already made his decision to leave because it's involved his family already. So I wish you all the best, though.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
This call shows what happens when you rush into marriage. So this woman says she's traditional. But watch what she actually did. Her husband wanted her to join his family business. She said no because she wanted her own career. That one choice changed everything. Look how fast this went. 7 months dating, 1 month married, pregnant immediately, now talking divorce. That's not building something, that's just chaos. The husband let his family convince him to leave. If your marriage falls apart in 30 days because of what others say, it was never real. Here's the truth about guys. Once a man decides he's done and tells his family it's over, you can't talk someone into wanting to marry you. She's asking how to save her marriage, but you can't save something that was never built right. Don't rush into marriage because you're pregnant or it looks good. Build stability first. Get your money right. Figure out what you both want, then commit. Otherwise, you're just confused people making promises. And confusion can't hold anything together. The lesson here is simple. Don't mistake speed for strength. Real relationships take time to build. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if this made sense. Drop your thoughts below. See you next time.
Tiffany, what's up?
Kevin,
Hey.
Mr. Samuel, sorry. Can you hear me?
I can now. What you got for me, sis? When I get wrong?
Sorry. Sorry
No
about
problem.
that. So, I feel like you're spot on from what you told the young lady earlier. And that's what I was trying to explain to Sarah. I'm pretty new. Y'all asked me to come up on the panel the other day.
Okay.
But I decided to go ahead and come up today. And I was trying to explain to Sarah that sometimes people just need someone to be a straight shooter. And hopefully that lady was young enough to where she can go ahead and make a change.
Right. Well, I mean, I agree. I don't have any malicious intent.
Right.
And I'll put it this way: I'm a cancer survivor. And when I got my diagnosis back, one of the first questions I asked him was the remission rates and the prognosis. And I respect them that they didn't lie to me, because you got to make real choices. And the situation that she was in, well, we're all in, is that if we have the information, the truth, then we can make choices. So that's what it is. So
well,
thank you.
congratulations to you. God bless you for going through that.
So what's your name in the chat room was what? Is it
Tiffany Chanel.
Tiffany Chanel. Okay. I saw people talking to you.
I'm the one that came in the chat, and I was so excited about the topic of being over 30 and single, and yeah, that was me.
So are you over 30?
I am.
Are you looking to get married yourself?
I've been married. Currently, I'm not looking to get married.
Are you looking for an LTR? Long-term relationship? Long-term relationship?
Oh, not currently. I'm currently not looking for a long-term relationship, but I'm open to friendship, and if that leads to a long-term friendship, that would be great.
Now that is curious to me. I'm gonna tell you why I'm curious.
Okay.
As a divorcee myself, there was a cooling off period. But most women I know don't want to die alone.
Yeah.
Are we saying that you just want to go through the rest of life unattached?
That's a good question. I don't think I'm saying the rest of life unattached. I just think I'm finally able to focus on other things outside of relationship.
Okay.
Things that are important to me, my career, my household, my daughter. And so, yeah.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter will be 4 in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, everybody comes to it at a different point. But one thing I would love to hear more Black women be able to do is to be able to have healthy relationships. Because here's what I hear more often when I hear from Black women, or women in general, Black women in particular. When I ask you if you want to be in a relationship, it's still comparing it against the negative versus the positive, what it can be. I mean, you got a 4-year-old, and you may have a great career, but it's always easier in life to go through it with support, help. So why not have support, help, healthy, happy relationships versus nothing?
That's actually a beautiful point. My parents have been married for 48 years. My grandparents were married for over 65 years.
Do you want
before
that?
they transitioned, and they're happy, and it's beautiful.
Do you want that?
I think, so if that exists for me, yes. But if it does not,
there it goes.
That's okay.
Okay. There it goes. You came from 65 years and 48 years. If it exists for you, why if you come from 65 and 48, why would it not exist for you?
No, meaning if it exists for me.
I know.
Why
would it not exist? I know. That's why I said, why could it not exist for you?
I think, whatever God's plan is, I want to be that person that's open to what God has for me and not try to chase after something.
Okay. So are you a Christian?
I am.
Are you a practicing Christian?
When you say practicing, what do you mean? Like,
are you living in accordance to the Christian? Are you living by the Bible?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right.
Now, am I perfect?
No,
No,
none
only
of us are
Christ
perfect.
is.
None of us are
Yeah,
perfect. But I ran the singles ministry in 3 churches I was in.
that's
And
awesome.
yeah, and there's nothing in the Bible where God has anything about a spouse. This is a natural choice.
Okay.
In the Black community, we put this off as a spiritual matter. Like I have a show about 3 weeks ago where I had a woman, I actually know her pastor.
Hmm.
And she kept on talking about how she's a good Christian woman. And I asked her, and at the end of the day, go back and watch the show. It's actually highlighted.
Okay.
Oftentimes Black women get to a point to where I'm just being honest, you don't believe it's possible. I don't believe it's possible. It was what your grandparents and your parents had, that time is over. The world is different. So now God is my husband.
Oh no, that's not if
I say,
nah.
I'm not saying you.
It,
I'm saying oftentimes that becomes Black women because,
oh no. Yeah, that's not good.
well, no, that's why I said if 65 years and 48 years, you have good role models. The
Hmm.
world has not changed. Human beings are still the same.
Yep.
And I hate this. I hate to hear when people have had bad experiences and to think, well, I'm just going to leave it in God's hands. God don't work that way, sis. That has never been God's way. Marriage is a natural choice because if it worked that way, then God will be responsible for your. Were you married? Were you married to your daughter's father? Her daughter's father? Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. So
I said, were you
yes,
married to your daughter's
we
father?
were married.
Okay,
Yes.
so if it worked the way you're talking, God would be responsible for your divorce.
I think man has their own will, man and woman,
Right.
mankind.
So great. So saying work. So what you're saying is not. Then that contradicts it. You're waiting for what God has for you, but then you say man and woman have their own will. That
Hmm.
means
God has his God has his perfect will for your life.
right, but
Um,
none of that has to do with picking a spouse.
I think that has to do with everything.
No, you can think that, but there's nothing in the tenets of Christianity. You sit down with your pastor, and if he's actually went to seminary, he'll tell you you have an incorrect interpretation of the gospel. Man, I taught for many years in singles ministry, and I was been married. That's an incorrect interpretation that oftentimes Black women have. Marriage is a natural choice, not a spiritual
Marriage is a choice. I do
choice.
believe that in
Yes.
every aspect of your life, God has his perfect will for you. That's in your
Mhm.
career.
Does he have his perfect will for Adam and Eve?
He did. And then they
Did
made a
Adam
choice.
and did they have their own? Did they have their own will?
Absolutely. And
Did they
he's
act in
not going to
accordance with it?
override your will.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So
I
when we
think
put,
we agree, Kevin. We
well, what
agree.
we agree up to the point to where
Or
we
Mr.
put.
Samuel. Sorry, I don't know
No,
what
no,
you
no,
want me to
Kevin is
call you.
cool. We agree to the point to where we push this off onto God's perfect will for us. That is where I wholeheartedly disagree, and that is where you first came. I said, "What about this?" And you said, "I'm going to let God have it in His time." No, man, that's not how it works.
I guess my goal is I don't want women to think that if they're not getting a man, it's something always wrong with them. Sometimes it's just their choice, and that's okay.
Okay, well, if you're a Christian, what is a woman's purpose?
I believe a woman and a man's purpose is to serve and honor the Lord with their lives.
Okay, I asked a very specific question.
Hmm.
You're a Christian. What is a woman's purpose?
A woman's purpose is to serve the Lord with her life,
That is not
how
a
she
woman.
lives her
That
life
is not a woman's.
honoring God.
That is not a woman's purpose, according to
Okay.
Christianity or the Bible. It's very clear. A woman's
Are you
purpose is to.
talking about submitting to husband and
No, a
husband
woman's
submit
purpose is
to?
to be helpmeet to man. Your
Oh, be
purpose
the
is
helpmate.
your
Okay,
purpose. A
I
woman's
understand that.
okay. So in the simple terms, a woman's purpose is man in Christianity. You have no purpose without a man here. If you did, God could have easily created Eve before Adam. God gave Adam the commandments and he put him in charge of the garden. He spoke to Adam. Did God ever speak to Eve?
Adam was in authority, so he spoke to Adam. Correct.
Right.
Eve
So
was the helpmate. He pulled her from his
exactly.
rib so that
So
she could
you
walk
said you
side
don't
by
want
side
women
with
to
him.
think you don't want women to think that you don't want women to think opposite of what it is you say you believe.
No, I don't want women to think that there's something wrong with them always. There can be things that are wrong, but it's not always that is something wrong with a woman, and it's not always that there's something wrong
Well,
with a
ma'am,
man.
but the thing is, hold on, but this whole what is a woman's purpose on the planet? Okay, how about this? How about this, Nicole? Tiffany, can a woman
Yeah.
survive on the planet by herself?
Well, I've seen it happen.
Where?
So
Where?
if you
Where?
asking for,
Where? 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 Where?
I've seen single women live and be single until they're older and
Hold
they
on. So let's
transition.
stop. You've seen a woman take care of and provide for herself.
Yes,
Did she build her own shelter?
yes, built her house.
She built her own home.
Hmm.
Did she actually run the plumbing to that home?
Oh, I see. Like hiring people, or did she run the plumbing?
Come on,
I don't
Tiffany.
know.
What I'm
She may
saying,
have hired a
what I'm saying.
plumber.
That's why I asked you very definitely. See, oftentimes women use Christianity as convenient Christians. A woman's purpose is a man. No two ways about it. Women cannot survive without men. You're not physically capable. You don't have the strength. Your body's not built for it. You cannot do it. So to say women can survive without men is telling women the wrong thing. And as a Christian, that's why I asked if you're a Christian, you're actually telling women something that goes opposite to what you say you believe.
Do you think a woman should enter in a relationship and stay if a man is abusive?
What does that have to do with Christianity?
My point is that some women have had this
Well,
happen.
okay, but
Do we
Tiffany,
tell her to stay with a man
But
because that's
Tiffany,
her
due
purpose?
respect, Tiffany, I could pull out. We could go that tit for tat all night. We really could.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be. I just don't want women to think something's
What
wrong.
I'm not okay with is Christian women telling women that they don't need a man. I'm not okay with that. If you're a Christian woman and you say you're living according to the Bible, then there's no way you can say that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say, oh, you don't need a man, do everything by yourself. What I'm saying is, don't feel bad and feel like you're doing something wrong if you're currently not with a man. It's okay. Maybe one day, but maybe not today. And it's
Maybe
okay.
one, but okay, but hold up. Okay, maybe one day, but maybe not today. But who is that woman under? Who's she submitting to?
Well, she needs to be submitting to the Lord.
Right. But if who's covering that woman when she's by herself? Because the father is because here's how
The
you
angels.
and you know what, and the extension of God is my husband. See, no matter how you slice it, that's still your position.
Well, I
And
think God is
this
my
is
everything.
well,
God is
that's
my
fine, but he is
everything.
but see, this is not. But even T.D. Jakes, he used to get angry with with the members of his church because too often women were taking this bastardization of Christianity and actually making this a problem. You know, often T.D. Jakes actually said in the church, "Do not go quote me in your house to your husband." And how
Yeah, I
often
love Bishop Jakes.
well, exactly, and
He's
how
awesome.
often women misinterpret the scripture because it's not your place. See, if you're a Christian woman, You know your purpose is a man. Everything God has told you is in conjunction with a man. So what you're saying is opposite to Christianity. That is worldly. That's why I asked you initially, are you a Christian living according to the tenets? And you're
I
not,
am.
but you can't be and hold these positions. You're living you're living in opposition to God's will for man and woman. Simple as that.
No.
Go ask your pastor. Go ask anybody.
My dad is my pastor.
Okay. And what does he tell you?
So we're raised in a house where it's husband and wife,
Exactly.
and my mom is his helpmate.
Okay,
So
but what
yeah,
is your
my dad.
what does he tell you a woman's purpose is?
Yeah, so I see people saying that I'm using God as an excuse, and
I don't care about the
that's
chat
not
room.
my
Tiffany,
heart's
look at
desire, and I didn't come on here for that.
Tiffany. Don't look at the chat room. You and I are
Yeah, I
having a
didn't come
conversation.
on here to be
Well,
bashed. I
but
came on
who are
here
you? Hold
because
on,
I
Tiffany.
appreciate your
Who is
platform.
bashing Tiffany? Listen, you've not been bashed by me. Don't look at the chat room. You and I are having a conversation that can benefit women. Have I been disrespectful to you?
No, not at all.
Have I been rude to you?
No.
So what do
No,
you?
I don't
There's
I don't
nothing to.
think you're a rude person. I listen to
So
what you say to the ladies, and I believe you're trying to help them.
what I'm saying is you focus here, and all I'm doing is questioning what it is you say because let me tell you the problem I have with some of the things you said. Far too often, Black women are uncoupled because of a misunderstanding of Christian doctrine. And that's why I asked, what does your pastor say? Because if you're a Christian, you're supposed to be in submission to someone, a
Yeah.
father, a husband, even in a holding, men of the church somewhere. Women are not.
My pastor says that a man should not be without a wife, and that the wife is to be the helpmate, and that the wife is to submit to the husband, and the husband also submit to the
But you
wife. But the
said you
Bible
don't want
says
women to
submit to
think
one
that there's
another.
something wrong with her if she's not with the man, and that's just
Because I think there's a lot of pressure on
as it
individuals, women
should
and
be.
men.
As it should be. If you're a
And I
Christian,
think sometimes, Mr.
hold on, ma'am,
Samuels,
hold on, ma'am.
okay,
As it should be if you're a Christian. You don't have to be a Christian. We chose to be Christians. And we don't get to select the parts of the doctrine in the Bible we choose to follow. That is a new thing with all this prosperity preaching. Everything I've asked you, ma'am, 65 years with your grandparents, 48 years with your parents, your father is your pastor. And every question that I've asked you to actually get you to define something, you've slid away because you didn't want to answer specifically what you and I both know to be the truth that you say you believe.
well, no, I answered to you what my dad has said as my pastor. And he did say that man should not live without a wife, and the wife should submit to the husband. The husband should submit.
I'm sure when you and your ex chose to divorce, he probably also counseled you both.
Mm-hmm.
And he counseled you on divorce.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
But we also had other Christian counselors outside the church.
But ultimately, I asked you earlier, do you want to marry a long-term relationship? And at the end of the day, man, what it really comes down to, it is a dangerous thing to tell women that you don't need men, because what it is what you're saying. You do need us. You need
I don't
us.
think I would tell a woman that she doesn't need a man. What
Well,
I would tell a woman is not to feel, don't come down on yourself if you're not yet married. I'd say the same thing to a man. Don't come down on yourself if you're not yet married.
Okay, but who? Okay, if you're not yet married, but is there a clock on that?
So I think with a biological clock for men and women, it could be, because if a woman doesn't have her baby by the age of 35, 36, she's considered high risk. If a man doesn't have his child by his mid 40s, he's considered high risk.
Okay, let me
He
ask
can
you. Let me
actually
ask you a
produce
very
a child
defining
with.
question about marriage. Why?
Sure.
What is the purpose? Why do we marry?
Well, you marry to reproduce, to bring children into the world, to raise them in the admonition of the Lord.
That's one reason. But what else?
I would think to raise productive citizens in society,
Okay.
to keep your seed, to keep your legacy going.
Right. So you can do none of that as an individual. Certainly can't do anything as an individual Christian.
Oh, it looks like people are saying, why am I up here if I'm talking about other people?
I don't
Because
care about.
that's all
Could you please stop looking and see? I don't
okay,
understand
sorry.
why you are doing that. I mean, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and I'm not looking there, and it's my show. Well, it
Okay,
sounds as though you're more
I'll respect
concerned.
that. Let me hide the chat.
How about
Let me
that?
just hide them.
How
Okay.
about you just because what you see? We're Christians. We chose to be that. So I cannot sit there and say I agree that you're saying that a woman should not feel bad that she's not married or whatever. At some point, you need to have a husband if you're a Christian. Your
Yeah, I mean, the
purpose,
Bible says that,
your
right? The
purpose,
Bible
yes,
says a man
because
should not live without a wife. A woman
exactly.
should not live without a man.
What we
That's in the
say. So
Bible.
what we're saying. So what you ultimately said is you didn't want women to feel something wrong. There is something wrong if you're a Christian and don't have a husband. At some point, you don't. A woman.
I just don't want people
It
to
doesn't
come
matter,
down on
ma'am. You're a
themselves if it
Christian,
hasn't happened.
ma'am. I'll just say this. Now move on to the next call. Tiffany, your father's a pastor.
Yes.
What you want is in direct conflict with your belief system. That's for you to sort out. But I'm just understanding, according to Christianity, you're 100% incorrect. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to have it, but you're wrong as a Christian and you know it.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm being misunderstood because I'm
No, I
not saying that
understand.
a man and a wife shouldn't be together.
I
I'm just
understand.
saying that
I understand.
give yourself time to get to know people. Don't rush it.
I understand that
You rush
Christian.
it, you might end up divorced like
Well,
me.
no. Well, but okay. No, you rush, you might end up divorce. No, I don't give you that because if you get married for not love. You get married for very practical reasons, spiritual reasons, Christian reasons. See, back in the day, we used to do this. A lot of this Hallmark love stuff, your feelings and all this other stuff did not matter. You got married because of children, legacy, things, and you fell in love with your spouse. And the church, hold on. And the church did not move the way the world did. Today, the church has become far too worldly, and this is what's in the church. This is why so many, you're a church going woman. You see how many men are no longer in church? Why do you think so many men are not in church? Because they're tired of hearing Christian women talk like this. You have Christian women speaking in contravenence to Christianity. That is why men are leaving the church. That is why pastors are actually telling their female flock, do not speak this way. Do not say these things. But yet, Black women, Black Christian women are some of the most stubborn, hard-headed people on the planet because at the end of the day, it's your faith and it's God is the person you're going up to. But at the end of the day, nothing in God's word, nothing in God's appointed men on earth, nothing God has said is what you women are talking about.
Yeah,
that's why people in the chat room will talk. That's why people in the chat room.
Kevin, I think you and I actually agree. I think we're agreeing, to be honest with you. A man should not be alone, right? That's in God's word. A woman should be the helpmate to the man, submit to the man. The man should honor and love the wife just as Christ loved the church. We agree on that. All I'm saying is don't come down on yourself if it hasn't happened for you yet. If you want to find love, you can and will find love.
Okay, first off, ma'am, let me stop you right there. Mm-hmm. The last thing you just said had nothing to do with Christianity. And I repeat, don't come down on yourself if you haven't found love.
Or should I say if you haven't found your spouse?
Let me change that. No, ma'am, you've said it 3 times, and that's the point. You still are conflating love and marriage. That's why I've asked you.
Well, the Bible says that. The Bible says the husband should love the wife as Christ loved the church.
But that is not the purpose of marriage. It is not romantic love.
I'm not
Hold
talking
on,
about
hold on, Tiffany.
romantic love. I'm talking about
Tiffany.
the God kind
No.
of love,
Tiffany.
the
The man should
agape
love.
love.
The man should love his wife like God, like Jesus loved the church. That's agape,
Agape love. I
which
keep
is
saying
not
that.
romantic love. You're talking about eros.
I didn't say anything about romance. I
Well,
never said the word
but
romance.
the love you're talking about is romantic love. Don't come down on yourself. You have not found love. Selfless love, agape, has nothing to
No,
do with.
that
Okay,
the
I
Christ-like
am not
love.
new, Tiffany. I'm not new to
I think
this.
we agree, Kevin. We
We
agree.
we do agree, except for one thing. A woman's purpose on the planet is a man. That is your sole
Is a
purpose.
man's purpose a woman? Like,
That
what
is
would be a man's purpose?
a man. That is your purpose. Worry about your purpose. See, you want to win an intellectual battle. Your purpose is a man. That's it. And then this is that
And the
Western.
man's purpose is to honor God.
Hold on. I deal with your purpose. See, what you're doing right now has nothing to do with Christianity or anything else. It is an ego battle. Why are you? What is a man? What is a man's purpose? What does it matter if you're a woman? What is your purpose?
So that everyone
What
can
is a woman's
understand.
what is a woman's purpose? See, too many Western women, especially our black women, you're out of position.
The Bible says, "Follow me as I follow Christ." So as the woman is, the husband's leading the household, he's leading the woman and the children as he follows Christ.
And that does not change what I said.
That's what I'm saying. We agree.
Well,
We're not arguing.
we agree if she's married. If you're unmarried, you're uncovered. You're not following anybody. You're following yourself. That's what I've been asking. As a single woman, who are you following?
As a single woman,
You're
I'm
following
accountable to
God.
my pastors, and I'm following the
Exactly.
Lord.
You're following your pastor, who is your father. But your father already has a charge. Ma'am, single women, divorced women, let's not play games. You're uncovered. And there's provision there, but there's a time
There's
frame on it.
definitely provision there.
But you're not supposed to live life uncovered as a Christian woman.
I
And there's
agree. Men should have wives. Wives should have husbands.
so if you're not
But
supposed to
such is
live,
life. Shout out to the single parents.
no, shout out to single parents. I don't shout out single parents. No, especially Christian ones. It's not about
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
about love. It's
it's
not a
sad
it's
when you become a single parent, but you do
no,
what you
it's
got to.
not sad when you become a single. It's sad when you choose to be a single Christian parent and live in contravention to the thing you say you believe. That's when it's sad because how did that happen? See, here's what I find troubling about this conversation. I don't know how that muted. You're a woman who was raised with a 60, almost 70-year marriage and an almost 50-year marriage and a father who's a pastor. And I'm getting this level of pushback. And you're supposed to be one of the good ones. What about the women who
I
weren't
hope I'm
raised?
a good one.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, ma'am. There are some things that are extremely troubling about what it is you say you believe, and that's the problem a lot of black men have. This is a woman who says her grandparents were married for 65 years. Her parents were married for 48 years. Her father is her pastor, yet she's divorced and telling women don't feel bad if you don't fall in love or have a man or whatever you want to come out. And all the stuff you're talking about does not line up with what it is you say you believe, yet that's what you say you're putting in ahead of you, trying to help you find a husband. It's going to be on God. And everything I've done is used exactly what you said to show you that you're in contradiction, but you're still going to hold on to it. Because here's the real problem, Tiffany. Too many black women like yourself are just hard-headed and can't nobody tell you nothing.
Goodness. I'm pretty okay.
You said your dad, okay.
You and I are probably the same age.
I don't, and what does that have to do with anything?
You don't hear those words hard-headed unless it's like a parent talking
How old
to
are
a
you?
child. I'm 37.
I'm 51.
You look good.
And even if I was 36, I'm still a man.
Yep.
And if you're a Christian, you know what that means. So I don't understand what me saying something is to be. That's why I wanted to have this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think we are. I
It was
think we
a good
agree more
conversation
than
because
disagree.
what you're gonna see is they're gonna be. I'm a patient person. I'm a learned person, but I know what I believe and why I believe it. And here's the thing: if it is this difficult for a well-intended black man to even get a woman who says she's well-intended to just agree with me on what it is you say you believe, how the hell are black men and women supposed to figure it out and stay together 48 and 65 years? It ain't
I
gonna
do
happen.
agree with you. I keep telling you we're on
No,
the same
ma'am, you
page here.
don't. We no, we no, ma'am. If this is agreement, I hate to see disagreement. If you think this is on a one accord, I hate to see discord. Just because you're not cursing and calling me out of my names, you're not in
I
agreement.
wouldn't do that.
Exactly, but it does not change the fact that you're still in opposition to what it is you say you believe. And I don't even have to get that's why I didn't get into your personal life and why you're not this. I don't want it. It does not matter. This is a
Yeah.
global issue with black men and black women. There should not be this amount of acrimony, especially with people who raise their hand and volunteer to be Christians. No one forced us to be Christians. No one forced us to live our lives in accordance. That's why I asked you very specific questions. You say your father is your pastor. You are supposed to be agreeing with me. There's not supposed, when I ask you what a woman's purpose is, it shouldn't be all this. It's a man to be a helpmeet. I mean, this is
Yep.
supposed to be real easy for Christian women.
To be a helpmeet, to cover him, I agree.
All right.
I do agree with that.
Well, okay. Well, it's good to say with our mouths, but when we live it with our lives, there's not this amount of acrimony. But I thank you for calling in. I
Yeah,
do.
I
I think
hear
this is a
you.
good call.
Thank you. You have
Thank
a
you very
blessed
much.
evening.
And y'all stop looking at the chat room. They ain't on nobody. You don't know these folks. They there to cause
I
trouble.
think you got some good people in the chat.
Yeah,
They're just straight shooters.
okay, but if they got some good ones, then I mean, I don't allow guys to come over and troll women and stuff. But we're gonna have. I think this is a good conversation because if black men and women don't have these, we ain't. Our marital rates are gonna continue to do what they do, and our families are gonna continue to do what they do, and ain't none of it good. I think we both have to agree on that
Oh yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
have you don't have what your parents and your grandparents said, and we both know that's what folks want.
Yeah.
All right, then.
So
Talk to you.
did you read Mary? Like maybe I should be going on your site to look at your
Yeah, I've been
story.
married. I've married twice. I certainly and if I
Did you
choose to
stay
marry,
with the second relationship or no?
no, she filed for divorce.
Neither did I. I remarried twice.
But here's the thing: I didn't file for either, and both wanted to come back. Both
Yeah.
divorced for worldly reasons, and
Yeah.
I don't begrudge them anything. That's why you never hear me talk ill about them. Even in my
Exactly.
marriages, even as a Christian man, I did not have the level of understanding I have now, and I take on headship as I should. That's why I am never going to be hard on. I'm always going to be hardest on men because of headship. However,
Understood.
I can't tell black men who are willing to lead, to step up and lead, that they should have to argue with, let's move you to the side. Let's move you to the side so it's not personal. With ADOS black women who were raised in a country to look at her men differently than other women. Black men do not get the level of respect.
That
Uh,
they deserve. I agree.
Right. We're middle class, upper middle class folks, and the women and black women will get mad at black men like me who marry out. But then when you turn around and say, "Well, where is my counterpart?" My counterpart wants to rule Eden. She does
Yeah.
not want to be the helpmate, and she wants to
Right.
argue. My helpmeet would rather get the snake and go tell God what's wrong with the text versus just doing what she's supposed to do.
Right.
All right, thanks.
I agree.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Kevin.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Shout out to Kevin. I love this episode specifically because it does highlight a lot of the inconsistencies in a lot of these modern women, but also shows men exactly where they're needed and where they need to be. To Kevin's point, the reason why he never begrudged any of his exes or ex-wives is because he understands as a leader, it's his job to make it right. You see, when you sit there and take accountability and responsibility, you won't even blame other people anymore for things not going the way it should have went. Why? Because as a man, you are a leader. Being a leader, you have to live and die with the choices you make. If you sit idle and let someone make all the choices for you, you can't sit there and then be upset, because you have to understand it's your job to lead. It's your job to make it right. So when it doesn't work out, blame yourself. That's it. That's the only way to take it. And it puts the ownership back on men. No more excuses. No more pointing the finger. I mean, to be honest, it should be a thing in which we all take responsibility and accountability. But, you know, as men, you just take it on the shoulder and you don't complain about it. You don't get to sit up here, complain, and say, well, this person did this and this person did this and I didn't do this. That's your fault. She broke up with you. That's your fault. You should have had your stuff together. She didn't respect you. That's your fault. You should have been better. We can't keep pointing the finger, especially as men. We can't keep pointing the finger. Headship is important. You are supposed to be a leader. You are supposed to do it. You're supposed to do what you have to do to make sure you get whoever you are with from point A to point Z without a problem. But let's speak on this, the Christian feminist. You see, what's so funny to me is they're able to say basically God is their husband. That's almost like how the angle is being pushed. Like if anything is going to happen, it's going to be because God did it, or God set it up. But guess what? These choices you make down here are free will. God is just determining what you do with those choices. That's all he's doing. Not he's the one making the choices for you. You see, you are the one that are making the choices. So when she doesn't find a man, of course, it's just easier to say, well, that's not in God's plan, because you believe that God is making the choices for you. But you're forgetting, most importantly, that you have free will. So stop putting all the blame and the onus on God, when in all reality, it should be on you. Just like how men take the responsibility and accountability. And what's alarming is this woman doesn't even know why she's here as a Christian. And then on top of that, she doesn't even know what a man's role is, let alone hers. She's like, all right, well, you know, I'm a Christian woman, and what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and serve the man? What is the man going to do? So you've been married, your dad's a pastor, and at this point in time, you still don't know why a man's here for? You still don't know what a man is here to do? That's alarming. She needs to do some more research. But everyone, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about this conversation. I want everyone to make sure you guys like and subscribe so you guys are notified and being shown more videos just like this one. And I hope to see you guys back here for this next video. I want you guys to share this video so it can help someone else. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.